Our topic for today is about the Earth's layers. Let's read the objective of the lesson. The learner will be able to identify characteristics of the Earth's layer. In this activity, you will learn about the Earth's layers. At the end of this lesson, you will write a report about the layers of the Earth using 4 facts you learned. The Earth is divided into 3 layers. Now let's see what are the 3 layers. So let's see this diagram. So, sa diagram, makikita natin na yung blue part, yun yung crust. Yung orange, yun yung mantle, which is the upper mantle, to be specific. Yung red naman is the lower mantle. Yung yellow is the outer core, and the white is the inner core. So, pag-aralan nyo kung alin ang mas makapal, ng mas maliit, dalhin nyo, katamtaman lang ang laki. Saan kaya tayo dyan nakatira? Let's see. Let's move. Isa-isahin na natin. Now, first, we have the crust. It is the layer that you live on. So, it is the most widely studied and understood. Kasi doon tayo nakatira, doon tayo namumuhay. It is made of the lightest matter. On the other hand, the core consists of heavy metals. So, kung yung crust ay lightest matter lang yung bumubuo, sa core naman nandun yung mabibigat na klase ng metal. So, let's see this diagram. In this diagram, you can see the thickness of each layer. Now, you see that the thinnest layer of the Earth is the crust. So, crust is of 2 different types. The continental crust and this one, and the oceanic crust. The continental crust or the continental plate averages about 35 kilometers thick and exceeds 70 kilometers in mountainous region, while the oceanic crust is roughly 7 kilometers thick and is composed of the dark igneous rock basalt. Yung upper crust natin, ang composition nun ay granitic rock. So, continental rock has an average density of about 2.7 grams per cubic meter. Yung oceanic crust naman, younger and denser yon. Ang tawag naman dun sa nagsaseparate dun sa crust and the mantle ay Mohorovičić discontinuity. Again, Mohorovičić discontinuity or simply Moho. That came from the name of Andrea Mohorovičić in 1909. This Earth's crust is like the skin of an apple. It is very thin in comparison to the other 3 layers. Yun lang yun, no? Nakikita niyo ba yung kulay red? The crust of the Earth is broken into many pieces called plates. The plates move along the soft mantle, which is the layer located below the crust. The plates move along smoothly, but sometimes they get stuck and the pressure builds up. Now, pag-aralan naman natin itong figure na ito. So, this shows the Earth's crust. Again, we have the continental crust and the oceanic crust. Ito rin makikita sa figure that the plates are moving. Pwedeng 2 plates collide, pwedeng 2 plates move apart, or downgoing slab, or pwedeng overriding slab. Yung continental crust, nandun yung volcanoes natin in the mountains. Those are folds. Now, sa layer beneath the crust is the mantle. Doon sa upper mantle, makikita nyo doon yung magma. Dito nabubuo yung magma, na yun namang magma, yun yung liquid metal or liquid substance na lumalabas sa volcanoes during volcanic eruption. Again, ito yung diagram na nagpapakita kung ano naman yung nga paggalaw na nangyayari sa ating Earth's crust. So, dito naman ay larawan na nagpapakita ng epekto ng earthquake. So, sa figure, ang makikita natin ay San Francisco City Hall after 1906 earthquake. So, the pressure builds and causes an earthquake as rocks break and crack. So before we move on to the next layer, idadagdag ko lang that the crust, since it is the thin and the topmost layer of the earth, ito ay nade-divide sa two layers, the sial and the sima. Gagamitin natin yung symbol na sial and sima. The sial is the uppermost layer. The first two letter of yun yung kukunin natin code, silicon and aluminum. While the sima is the lower crust, again, yung first two letters natin, silicon and magnesium. So the uppermost layer composes of silicon and aluminum, while the lower crust is made up of silicon and magnesium. Next, the next layer is the mantle. It is the largest layer of the earth. It is made of hot, dense rock. The rock in the mantle flows like asphalt because of the temperature differences found in the mantle. Again, 82% of the Earth's volume is contained in the mantle. It is a solid or rocky shell that extends to a depth of nearly 2,900 kilometers. So, ang dominant rock dun sa uppermost ng mantle ay tinatawag na peridotite, which is richer in the metals magnesium and iron. The movement of the mantle creates the movement of the Earth's plates. Now, dito nanggagaling yung movement na nagkukos ng earthquake. So, idagdag ko lang din na since binanggit natin kanina that the top portion of the upper mantle is part of the stiff lithosphere and beneath it is the asthenosphere, which is also the source of volcanic magma. The top portion of this layer has a temperature pressure regime that results in a small amount of melting. The rocks of the lithosphere get progressively hotter and weaker with increasing depth. So habang lumalalim ay lalo itong mainit yung area ng lithosphere, lalong tumataas yung temperatura. So at the depth of the uppermost asthenosphere, the rocks are close enough to their melting temperature. The lower mantle is at the top of the core at a depth of 2,900 kilometers. Now, kung kanina, meron tayong pangalan or may terminology tayong ginagamit to give or to define the boundary between the crust and the mantle, yun yung Mohorovičić discontinuity. Between the mantle and the core ay meron din tayong tawag na pangalan dun sa boundary. At ang tawag natin dun ay Gutenberg discontinuity. It separates the mantle and the Earth's third layer from the German seismologist Benno Gutenberg. Now, let's go on to the innermost layer of the Earth, which is the core. So, the core of the Earth is much like a ball of very hot metals. The inner core is surrounded by a fluid iron outer core. The composition of the core is an iron-nickel alloy with minor amounts of oxygen, silicon, and sulfur elements that readily form compounds with iron. Binanggit dyan that the core is divided into two regions, the inner and the outer core. The outer core is a liquid layer or a fluid layer, while the inner core is a solid layer due to the immense pressure that exists in the center of the planet. Again, this is the figure showing the Earth's layer. So, focus lang yung mata nyo doon sa core. So, yung yellow part, yun yung outer core. Yung white part, yun yung inner core. Now, yung outer core ay 2,200 kilometers thick, while yung inner core is 1,216 kilometers. For your activity, you will write a paragraph about the Earth's layer. Include the 4 facts from this presentation.